wanted you there. Your presence made somebody else happy. Last summer, my father-in-law wanted my wife and I to go to the centennial celebration of his hometown in southern Iowa. It's called Tingley, population about 210. By the time we left, I don't know who was happier, my father-in-law or myself. The slogan on the town sign out by the main highway says it well. Incidentally, the three churches are Presbyterian, Methodist, and Christian, the last being organized at this old schoolhouse in 1877. A local historian reports there were good voices among those pioneers. That was then. This is now. The gazebo-like structure is a small replica of the bandstand which stood at the town's main intersection for years. After a century, only one of those roads is paved. The Old Fort restaurant is on one of the corners. The folks who run it live in that slightly taller building next door. It used to be the bank. The gas station is largely unchanged, except, of course, for the price of gas. This is how it looked in 1928. Tingley is named after William Tingley Cornwall, who came here as a boy in 1856. He held several offices over the years, including town postmaster. Around the turn of the century, one of Cornwall's colleagues wrote, "We conclude that such a country, dotted over with good homes, filled with contented, intelligent people, are ready with their means to keep up these landmarks of the highest type civilization. None but a pessimist would pretend anything but a bright future." Over 80 years later, about 6,000 optimists spent a summer weekend celebrating the past. At a community church service, they include former Governor Harold Hughes. He left Washington after one term in the United States Senate, said he didn't like the way that town operated. Hughes mixes Methodism with politics and prairie philosophy, telling those assembled that all who leave here take with them a fundamental instinct of the land. He talks of war and peace, that man will never find peace by continuing to build the weapons of war. Hughes believes this celebration represents a commitment of the people of the soil to negotiate with anyone, so that the earth might not perish, and there might be hope for our children's children. He is not the only famous politician to pass through Tingley, no sir. Don't forget President Roosevelt, Teddy that is, rode through town on a train in 1903. Didn't stop, mind you, but was on the rear platform for all to see and cheer. This is how the station looks today, the train and tracks long since gone. Events like this are noted in Tingley. The first car in 1907, the first car accident in 1908. When the first airplane came in 1920, the only woman willing to go for a ride was Marietta Igme. It's that kind of spirit which created the first annual National Hospital Bed Races. Some enterprising soul rode off to one of those places that certify this and that as being a national event. Don't know who had the most fun at the bed races, those doing the racing or those doing the watching. All of the festivities are being ramrodded by Bank President Carl Riggs and General Store owner Billy Breckenridge. They're sort of the David Rockefeller and Montgomery Ward of Tingley. Friendly, but not easily taken. For example, when they wanted the Air Force to send a jet on a flyby over the festivities, somebody at the base asked them to pay for the fuel. No thanks, they said. We're taxpayers. We've already paid for it once. That story points up as much as anything that this is a gathering of people as well as a celebration of past endeavors. In some cases, it is both. This is Maisel Steinkamp Morrison. This is Maisel Steinkamp in 1908, when she'd won the big doll down at Coy's drugstore. Her son Roger in 1944. Roger says he's the one on the right. This is Roger Morrison today, farmer and millman. His wife Donna, today, and in 1952, when she led the girls' basketball team of Tingley High School into the state tournament, hitting 75% of her free throws. Take that, Dr. J. Today, both of her daughters are beyond high school. It's people and families like these that have gathered for the big event, Centennial Parade. The kind of folks who still stand up when the flags go by. The parade has more units than Tingley has people. Some new, some old, some enlightening, at least to one boy. All of this is enlightening to a city boy reporter because these people have managed to hold on to something most of us have either forgotten or are forgetting fast. A community spirit, a caring for people. Folks don't seem to frown much around Tingley. Their smiles are big and sincere. Oh, sure, the weather might be ruining the crops this coming summer, but life goes on. After all, it has here for over 100 years. The Southern singer Jimmy Buffett is right. During an interview, Buffett once said that what the people in Washington don't realize is that this country is great because of those farmers in Iowa, not in spite of them. Mike Randall, Pulse 13.